work through it. So we will go ahead and get started. There are 3 chapters to it, so 3 sets of modules. We should be able to get through all 3 of them within the hour, but if not, then we can definitely come back together this week one day, or you can finish it on your own. We'll see where we're at though at the end, because we do have a hard log off at 5 o'clock. Because somebody else is going to need the Zoom meeting, I believe. All right, so starting the chapter. All right, so welcome to my famous All About Belize with Marcel, designed just for travel agents, whether you've had a chance to visit our beautiful little country or not. I hope you have time with me. It's fun and informative. And then we've got Jennifer, who's going to be learning about Belize through Marcel the toucan. All right, so Marcel says it seems like an island because there are so many miles of amazing beaches. And our sea is spotted with cays and atolls that are photographer's dream come true. But in reality, they're a small rectangular Central American country, tucked in between the Mexican state of Quintana Roo to the north and Guatemala to the west and south. And then it's on the Caribbean side. Jennifer says, so Belize is a tiny beach destination, and Marcel says it is way more than that. He says it's comparable in size to the state of Massachusetts, but a lot less people, about 35 people per square mile, dense jungle, beaches, Mayan ruins, mixture of nationalities that range from the mestizos and Creole to Garifuna and Maya, very own recipe of paradise. You may be surprised to learn that English is the official language. So Jennifer is very intrigued, says it's such a unique getaway. What would you say its most outstanding feature? So the most outstanding, the welcoming Belizean smiles, ridiculously gorgeous scenery really makes a visit here a total standout. Small country has a huge network of national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, exotic species of spiders, of spider monkeys, green iguanas, pecaries, I believe is how you pronounce that, plus over 500 species of birds and even the occasional jaguar. Lots and lots of Mayan ruins. So some of the Mayan ruins are hard to get to, but truth is the country is so rich in history, you're never far from at least one ancient Mayan ceremonial center. Alton Ha, for example, is less than an hour from Belize City and was once home to 10,000 people. Caracal, one of the other, is deep within the, I'm going to really mess that name up, Chiquibawal Forest Reserve of the Mayan Mountains. It's at the end of the expedition, you'll come upon one of the country's most important Mayan cities, covering an area of nearly 25,000 acres. To say it's a spectacular is an understatement. And this is merely the tip of the Mayan pyramid. So, all kinds of clients in the database. Most of them are families, young and middle-aged couples. This is what Marcel recommends. Yes, for families. Yes, for multi-gen travelers. Yes, for couples looking for a unique romantic getaway. And certainly yes, for those active older couples who are looking for something more than tea on a terrace. So it's very eco. Jessica, I'm sorry, it is Travel Agent Academy. And then we are in the Belize certification in the destinations. And I am recording, so we're good. It's just the three of us, so feel free to interrupt and ask any questions without placing it in the chat. All right, so Jennifer then asks, how many different kinds of activities are there? So according to Marcel, Belize can consist of lying on the beach all day, but you can have an adventure. Cultural rainbow, vibrant combination of Maya, Creole, Mestizo, Garifunu, East Indian, Middle Eastern, Asian, Central American peoples mean visitors have an endless array of flavorful cuisines to choose from, rich tapestry of musical sounds to enjoy and dance to, and a brilliant display of local artwork. Lots of outdoor things to do as well. So some of the outdoor Marcel is advocating or talking about is bird watching. They're home to over 500 species in Belize. If they're beginners, you'll see many inhabitants right within the resort areas. So you'll be able to check off at least the scarlet macaw, just walking normally through some of the easier jungles, or hanging out just on the hotel balcony in the early morning or late evening, is really when those macaws are most active. For the more experienced birders, can check in with the Belize Audubon Society, get a list, and cruise the mangroves of the Ho Chan Marine Reserve for roseate spoonbills and the like. So make sure to tell your clients to pack their binoculars. Marcel says that's a fantastic idea. Lots of wildlife in the unspoiled country. So it's hard to go without seeing anything. Then there's caving for the more adventurous or those that just want a short, easy walk, depending on what they like. The series of limestone caverns at Aktu Shapate, for example, can be accessed after a moderate hike and includes some modest rock climbing. But the rewards is Indiana Jones worthy, amazing formations, ancient ceremonial altars, Maya artifacts, relics, human remains, glyphs, and more. Kind of like an archaeological adventure, like the famous cave Aktun Tunichel Maknul, which will be interior Belize in the west. So if your clients want to take the intensity level down a notch, he suggests exploring Belize by horseback. That looks amazing. They'll get a totally different perspective of the rainforest, caves, and savannas from the back of the gentle giants. So beaches and coastlines, lots and lots of snorkeling and scuba diving. Belize is home to an endless number of cays or islands, and 3 of the 4 coral atolls that exist in the Western Hemisphere. Not only that, but it's also home to the region's largest barrier reef at 185 miles along the coastline. So from the beginner to the experienced diver snorkeler is going to see and enjoy that as well. All right. So remember, clients who can swim but are not trained in scuba can learn to snorkel. Snorkeling is nothing but floating on top of the water with the breathing apparatus, and letting the waves do the work. There's also fishing, as well as sport fishing is a natural pastime year round. So basically they're guaranteed to catch something. Of course, with Belize being eco-conscious country, catch and release is mandatory for those Grand Slam catches. All right, so pop quiz. Let's see, correctly identify Belize's selling points from the sampling below. Select the correct answer. So national parks, brimming with exotic species, over 500, even the occasional jaguar, yes. Maya archaeological sites sprinkled throughout, yes. Aztec, I don't think there's any Aztec. I think it's all Mayan. Idyllic powder white sand beaches, yes. Scenic caves and atolls, yes. Cultural exploration, yes. All right, so Jennifer is in love with the country, but it doesn't seem like a hard sell. Like to know a little bit more about the different regions and the country. So Marcel says, yes, we are a very small country. Each region has its own special charm. Following a brief exam, we'll move to chapter 2 of our learning experience and continue all about Belize with a look at each one. All right, so we ready for the exam? All right, so Belize is often mistaken for an island, partly because of its fascinating geological and marine features, such as, I say it's all of the above. What do y'all think? Belize is tucked between which 2 countries? That is Mexico and Guatemala. Belize's cultural rainbow, comprising Maya, Creole, Mestizo, Garifuna, East Indian, Middle Eastern, Asian, and Central American peoples, can be experienced through definitely the cuisine, local artwork, all of the above. That's what I was thinking too. All of Belize's caving and archaeological adventures are recommended only for visitors who are in top physical condition. That is false. Which of these clients would be good candidates for a vacation? Newlyweds, Helen and James, Claire, who wants to take her son fishing, and then the amateur archaeologist. So again, I'm saying all of the above. Nice. Hopefully you guys got the same 100. All right, so now we're going to move on to chapter 2. All right, so in this chapter, we're going to take a closer look at the map and its 7 regions. Going to look at the main attractions and get a better idea of which would be most suitable for your potential customer. All right, so Marcel says, welcome back. And we're going to talk about the 7 different regions. Jennifer is surprised by that 7. She thinks it's a lot of regions for a small country, but then again, that means there's a lot of variety to choose from. So northern Belize is at the top of the map. Obviously, it's closest to Mexico. It's off the beaten path. So if you have clients who love adventure without frills, this is where you're going to want to send them. Northern Belize has the brilliant green sugarcane fields, a jungle where they can explore awesome Mayan Indian style or Mayan sites, Indiana Jones style, little towns and villages. So they're going to be more within the culture and ecosystem in northern Belize. So according to Marcel, in his opinion, one of the best ways is to take a boat tour down the New River. It boards at Tower Hill Village in Orange Walk Town. The entire 25-mile boat journey to Lamani, one of the largest Maya sites in the country, travels alongside jungles filled with wildlife. I want to go. The Lamani Temple Complex is as impressive as any Instagram-ready panorama could be. You'll also hear the howler monkeys and hundreds of chattering birds since it is nestled within one of the jungles. All right. Seeking a variety, you can also have them look at Shipster Nature Reserve and the Rio Bravo Conservation and Management Area, two of the nature reserves mentioned earlier. Adventure is central. So there's trails for hiking, biking, horseback riding. There's lagoons. There's cenotes, which are freshwater sinkholes, rivers for swimming, tons of wildlife, both on land and underwater. All right. So from what Jennifer remembers from chapter 1, the northern border is close to Mexico. Yes. You'll feel most of all in the town of Corozal, 7 miles from the Mexican border. That means tacos are on the menu, Spanish being spoken more often than not. It's right on Corozal Bay, so you can enjoy waterfront parks, constant ocean breeze. But it's about as far from the big city as you can get with sport fishing, Maya sites, and a nature reserve for those who want to get away from it all. So just kind of the unplug area. So then you've got the North Islands, also known as Cays or Keys. You might actually be familiar with the name because it is where you're going to find Ambrose Key. Ambrose Key is a very big tourist destination. Lots of expats there too. Both Ambrose Key and Caye Caulker are on many travelers' bucket lists and very short distance by water taxi or plane from Belize City. Ambergris Caye is the largest island. It offers mad snorkeling and diving along the Belize Barrier Reef, famous Great Blue Hole, Shark Ray Alley, where they can swim with the nurse sharks, and the Ho Chan Marine Reserve. Not to mention fun nightlife, restaurants, and accommodations for every budget in San Pedro. San Pedro is a mix of mestizos, which is Mayan for Spanish people, Creoles, Maya Americans, and other cultures, and everything in between is within walking distance. That area is a bare feet and shorts kind of paradise with a side of ancient Maya sites and a forest that's a bird watcher's dream come true. So Caye Caulker is more chill, laid-back island where the motto is go slow. You can pretty much walk from one end of the island to the other. After diving, snorkeling, fishing, swimming, grab a cold drink at one of the island's ceviches. Don't miss the morning visit to Swallow Key Wildlife Sanctuary to check out the manatees, followed by an afternoon sea kayak around the island, you know, to burn off that lobster lunch. Okay, is Anybody else ready to like book a flight to Belize now? So what about our honeymooners? Honeymooners should go to St. George's Key. Also a hop, skip, and a jump from Belize City. This is where people go to really unplug. It's almost like their own private island. Honeymooners will definitely love the seclusion. Plus, it's a great spot for sailing, kayaking, snorkeling, and gets top marks for fishing the big three: tarpon, bonefish, and permit. I have no idea what all that meant. I've heard of tarpon fish and I've heard of bonefish, but I don't know the other one. All right. Drag and drop. What are the key attractions found in the northern town of Corozal? So that would be the Tower Hill Village, Lush Jungle, Lamani Temple. Waterfront parks, Mexican cuisine, sport fishing is the attractions found on a boat headed down the New River. And then the largest northern island is Ambergris Key. Do y'all agree?
It didn't like my answer, and that's what I put into, so.
It didn't like yours, okay. Huh. So then do we have them backwards? Nope.
Okay.
All right. So I know exactly which clients I'm sending for that laid back getaway. And a chance for some great fishing. But Marcel says, hold on, move back to the mainland and head to the Central Coast. So we are now in number 3. And the Central Coast, you're heading back to civilization. That's where you're going to find Belize City, the cultural and commercial central of the country. It's also where the cruise ships dock. So you can get pretty busy. There are no beaches in the city, but very trendy boutiques, restaurants serving a tasty mix of ethnic dishes, and lots to do when the sun goes down. Recommended for your clients to go on a city tour to see the old colonial structures. Hot tip, there are horse and buggy tours. Fun. And spending the morning at the open concept Belize Zoo. Has no iron cages, just natural fenced settings. Whoa. I'm not sure if I'm intrigued or a little scared. All right, so if you want to see an even wilder Belize, it's right nearby at the Crooked Tree Wildlife Sanctuary. You can go for a canoe tour for a closer up look at the wildlife, visit the ancient Maya city of Altunha, and climb the 54-foot tall pyramid or pop into the community baboon sanctuary, which is actually a howler monkey sanctuary. If you've never heard them, their throaty howls are quite impressive. They are. They're very kind of loud, screechy. Another fun suggestion is a drive through Royal Belize with stops at the tiny villages where you can soak up the local Creole culture, including some delicious eats. All right, Western Belize. So Belize City is not the capital, but it was at one time. The capital was moved inland for security reasons, and it's now at Belmopan in Western Belize. All right, so Belmont is a bitty city with a fantastic market on Tuesdays and Fridays. Great place for browsing the stalls that sell just about everything. Go hungry, a bunch of stalls sell yummy food right off the grill. The city's location also makes it a great jumping off point for eco adventures into other destinations. In fact, Western Belize is known for its adventure attractions. So, isn't Western Belize the region where my clients can play Indiana Jones? Yes. So that's where you're going to find those special eco adventures like Octoon Tunachal Mokno Cave with its intact Maya artifacts. They can also go ziplining or cave tubing on Caves Branch River or through St. Hermes Blue Hole National Park. Take a tour to the 1,000-foot falls or ride horseback through the mountain pine ridge forest. Reserved to Caracol, an ancient Mayan city believed to have between home to over 100,000 people at one point in time. That is way cool. All right, something totally unexpected. So Jennifer says that's all they're finding in Belize right now. But if you take the road from Belmont to the town of San Ignacio, fun market, and the people you'll meet are a blend of mestizos, Mayan, and Guarafano with a heavy sprinkling of North American and European expats. You'll come upon the entrance to the Spanish Lookout, which is actually a modern day Mennonite settlement. Whoa. It's pretty incredible. It looks like a little town from mid-America plopped down in the middle of Central America. It totally didn't see that coming. Western Belize is truly epic, but we have 3 more regions to go. So who knew such a small country could offer so much adventure? So I have plenty of clients who love the beach too. So the southern coast, the coast with the most. This is where our geography here really puts on a show, changing from the Maya Mountains down to our incredible sandy beaches. Our Garifuna culture is on full display at Dangriga and Hopkins. But before we get to the beach, the list of musts is pretty long. You must visit the Coxcomb Basin Wildlife Sanctuary, the world's first jaguar reserve dedicated to the jaguar. So Jennifer says that is way cool, but aren't the jaguars elusive? Marcel said the best time to spot them is at night, and the best season is the rainy one, June and July. Luckily, Coxcomb has camping facilities and cabins to rent to anyone who wants to stay up and wait for a sighting. Oh, I also suggest praying to the Mayan gods for a bit of good luck too. Another inland adventure on that list is hopping on the longest zip line in Belize at the Mayflower Bokawina National Park, which, by the way, you can fly down by day or by night. And in case that's not enough to get the adrenaline flowing, there's waterfall rappelling after a hike to the top of the 1,000-foot falls. You'll get a little sweaty, but the reward is a swim in refreshing pools, a breathtaking view all the way to the Caribbean Sea, and then another exhilarating adventure as you rappel back down. So that is definitely not me. I'm afraid of heights, not even. So then there's the fine-looking peninsula of Placencia at the very bottom of the southeast coast. Palencia is 16 miles of palm-lined beaches and every marine adventure you can think of. A lot of expats live there. This is now Andi talking and not Marcel. A lot of expats, and it's probably the most expensive area of Belize. All right, great for a canoe tour and close-up look at wildlife. That would be rural Belize, maybe? All right, so Belize City is definitely the social scene after the sun goes down. This is the pyramid. Uh-oh. All right, this is what I think, but I know I've got something messed up. Or at least I feel like I have something messed up.
I think that's right.
Yay.
And I'll go for the kitties, but I ain't jumping off no waterfall.
Right. I'm not sure about the zip line either. All right, so how much do you remember about Western Belize? We're going to match the following. A modern day Mennonite settlement. That's San Ignacio. This is the Jaguars. This is the ATM cave. Caracol. What do we think? Are we good? Uh-oh. So is it that way? Uh-oh, okay. Oh, Spanish Lookout. Okay, is the Mennonite. And then San Ignacio. All right, so we still have Southern Belize left. This region is small but mighty and totally shows off our many different habitats. From forest to pine savannas to mangrove lagoons and the deep blue water of the Caribbean Sea. There's a variety of cultures to learn about. The culture in the South revolves around the Asian, East Indian, Garifuna, Mayan communities. In fact, its Toledo district is home to several Maya villages that are famous for their hospitality. Clients can actually overnight in a home there and get an up close and personal look at their still very traditional way of life. Talk about immersive. There's also several ancient Mayan sites in the area as well, including Lubentun or Nimli Punit in the foothills of the mountains. All right. Particular town that you would recommend. So he says Punta Gorda Town, or PG as the locals call it, perfect base for operations for Southern Belize. I would call PG a small scale version of Belize, with the Maya, Garifuna, and East Indian Belize's living side by side, with each keeping their cultures. PG's colorful street market is famous for exotic local produce. Just ask and you'll get a taste of anything that catches your eye. Souvenirs and just caught fish. Remember, if your clients are traveling in November, this is the place to be. Every year, the Garifuna celebrate their culture on the 19th with the Battle of the Drums and food. Fiti. The food is fantastic, but the sound of the drums competing against each other and the traditional dancing is truly out of the world. All right, so the Belize Reef, also known as the Belize Barrier Reef, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site that covers 7 marine reserve zones, 400 keys, yep, and 3 atolls. Those are the ring-shaped coral islands surrounding a lagoon. These reefs are a divers and snorkelers' dream come true, and they literally come from all around the world to explore our famous underwater paradise. All right, so you had to name a few top dive sites. So divers must go to the Lighthouse Reef Atoll, home of the aquarium, the super famous Great Blue Hole, and Half Moon Wall. A dive into the Blue Hole, named by Jacques Cousteau as one of the top 10 diving sites in the world, is a very mystical experience. Basically, you float down to a cavern hung with enormous stalactites while the resident reef sharks circle past. All right, so don't worry about the sharks. There's plenty of fish to keep them busy, so they're not really interested in two-legged visitors. Half Moon Key is not quite as famous, offers a completely different type of dive. This one looks most like the ads your clients may have seen in magazines. Think crystal clear turquoise water, brilliant neon coral, bright white sand, so many schools of brightly colored fish. They'll feel like they're swimming in a first-class aquarium. If there was ever a location for marine life, it's here. It's an all-day trip away from San Pedro and Key Calker. If they really want remote, I'd recommend Glover's Reef. It's the furthest one and has a shallow lagoon. Perfect. Thanks, Joan. And like I said, this is going to be recorded. Jody will upload it for you to watch later on. The beach is fantastic, and the spinner fly fishing is also great. You can book them in accommodations ranging from camping tents to family-owned island resort and thatched cabins. Say it's a fantastic Robinson Crusoe with civilized amenities, setting for families and couples. If they're fishermen, Turneffe Atoll is famous around the world for tarpon, bonefish, and permit, as well as a long list of other saltwater game fish. Once they're done, the sea life here is just as varied as its sister's atoll, and the diving is sublime. All right, so the 7 regions of Belize. I hope I've opened your eyes to the many opportunities for adventure or just relaxing that we have here in this tiny but magnificent country. In the next chapter, I'll share with you a list of fast facts about Belize, a list of accommodations and tour operators, and some sample itineraries. All right, take the exam. From the Maya Mountains to the sandy beaches, the amazingly diverse geography of Belize's southeastern coast has earned it the name the coast with the most. Which of the following activities are on the list of options for visitors to the southeastern coast? Jaguar spotting, nighttime zip lining, snorkeling in Palencia, swimming with the whale sharks, experiencing. Is it all of the above?
I'm thinking so, because I remember the Jaguars and the nighttime zip line for sure during that time, early on.
Right. And then it's on the coast, so it would definitely be all of the fishing stuff. All right, so Punta Gorda is considered the microcosm of the cultural diversity in Belize, where Maya, Garifuna, and East Indian Belizeans live side by side, and where the Battle of the Drums and Food Fete takes place. That's in southern Belize. Of the 3 atolls found in the barrier reef, which one boasts a dive site named among the 10 best? The lighthouse. What was the blue hole? I thought. But I'm thinking lighthouse. What are you thinking?
Not a clue.
Okay. Let's see if we can Google it.
Gotta be the name too that's throwing it.
The Great Blue Hole at Lighthouse.
Okay.
Wait, where did it go? No. Oh man, did I lose it? Uh-oh. I lost my test. Oh, there it is. All right, newlyweds. Helen and James would be happy just relaxing on a beautiful beach with an exotic vibe, but wouldn't mind venturing out to sample an interesting mix of cuisines and maybe spot some beautiful birds like a scarlet macaw. Which of the following? That's Corazal and Ambergris Cay. And Claire would love to plan a vacation with her son, an avid fisher, and his wife and daughters, all outdoor enthusiasts. Snorkeling, kayaking, hiking. Where would we send them? I'm thinking Western Belize. What do you think?
I was actually wondering if it was the southern
Coast and side trip to Central
Yeah.
Coast. Yeah, let's do the Southern Coast. Because I missed the word fisher in there. And there's no fishing in Western Belize. All right, along with a keen interest in archaeology, Peter and Jill also value relaxation and time spent talking. Which of the following would be the best choice? Southern and Western? Or Southeastern? Southeastern, isn't that where they can stay with families?
I think so, yeah.
Which one did we miss?
The last one, of course.
Of course. So then it's probably the Southern and Western. All right, so last chapter. Why didn't it unlock? Because we passed. There it went. All right, last chapter. All right. So basic facts about traveling to Belize, the tour operators, hotel resources, basic itineraries for 4 of the most common client profiles. So key facts. Okay. I don't want to stay there though. There we go. Okay. All right. So getting here, fly into Belize City, and then. All right. So lodging in Belize is just as eclectic as the country. So they have everything from luxury resorts, family-friendly hotels, vacation rentals, condos, campgrounds, thatched huts over the water, and even live aboard boats. Beach to jungle and 5-star. Think Francis Ford Coppola fancy to under the stars. There's the perfect place for everyone. Belize is packed with many adventures, and the tour operator list is packed to match. Licensed tour operators and companies can specialize in one area of the country or a particular activity, and they offer day tours as well as multi-day vacation packages. You'll also find ground operators working on behalf of international companies, from off the beaten path to popular dives, Maya sites to cultural immersion. There's a tour operator for that. For a list of tour operators, select the link below, and Vax, Funjet, all of those. All right, sample itineraries. Created one for each of the most common types. So thrill seekers, family, honeymooners, and baby boomers. All right. So the high octane thrill seeker, arrive in Belize City, go into Belmonopan, rest up, and prepare for day 2. So we're going to turn into Indiana Jones, visit to the ATM cave. They usually leave around 8 in the morning. The hike from the starting point to the cave is intense. 3 stream crossings, passes through the Tapir Mountain Nature Reserve, and then an additional 45-minute hike through the caves. Take note that the upper chamber visitors are required to take off their shoes to prevent damage to artifacts. Swim through deep water to enter the cave and wade through more both inside and out. That sounds very intense. All right, day 3, the Caracol Mayan Temple, largest known Maya site in Belize. Here you can climb up the majestic temples. Chiquibble Forest Reserve. This tour can be combined with a visit to the Mountain Pine Ridge Forest. The subtropical pine forest hides several ridiculously good-looking waterfalls, including the Big Rock Fall, which can be reached after an easy climb over huge granite boulders. 1,000-Foot Falls, which is the highest of all waterfalls in Belize in Central America, and well worth seeing. The more adventurous can hike down and end the challenge with a refreshing swim. The Rio continuous series of pools. And then day 4, early flight from Belmonopan to the coastal town of Dengrija, cultural capital, home to a number of important Garifuna artists, artisans, and festivals. Birthplace of the Punta Caribbean music, home base for a day of adventure at the Mayflower Bocawina National Forest with 3 zip lines over 2,000 feet in length. After zipping along for 1.5 miles, the longest in Belize, you'll stop for lunch, followed by a guided hike to Bocawina Falls, where you can rappel 100 feet down. No, thank you. All right. This attraction will treat your clients to an Indiana Jones experience. Select the word to complete its name. Actun Tunich Mochnol Cave. All right. So now we're going to some family fun. So Belize City, you've got the Belize Zoo, the Tropical Education Center are must. The animals are in their natural habitat, and boy, are they exotic. It's not your usual elephant, bear, giraffe zoo. Think tapirs, storks, peccaries, even a jaguar. Plenty of interactive exhibits for the kiddos to feed the birds or pose with some of the animals, including Junior the jaguar, who is quite tame because he was born at the zoo. Day 2, head to the coastal village of Hopkins, a 2.5-hour drive or 15-minute flight. To immerse in the Garifuna culture. Children can join in the Garifuna cooking lesson, learn to make hadoot, a meal of ripe and green plantains, and Belizean-style coconut fish soup. Beach time is a must for the rest of the afternoon. Day 3 is a drumming lesson in Hopkins, which comes with a lesson in punta dancing and singing. Garifuna drumming is deep-seated Belizean tradition, has its own holiday, the Battle of the Bands, great fun for everyone. Again, more beach time. If you're in Belize during April through June, ask about swimming with the whale sharks out at Gladden Spit. Day 4, 30 minutes from Hopkins is the Maya Center Village, where you can tour Coxcomb Basin wildlife spotting and swimming in the waterfalls, hiking. This is Wildlife Central and a dedicated jaguar reserve that's very hard to see the elusive creatures. The river overlook and the Wari trails are great for seeing an overabundance of exotic birds and other creatures. This can be followed by a tour of a cacao farm and seeing how chocolate is harvested and made. All right. Ever since you mentioned the relatively tame Junior the jaguar to Susan and her son James, James hasn't stopped talking about him. Let's help him find them. All right. The Coxcomb Basin Wildlife Reserve. Yeah, he's not at the zoo. Uh-oh. Maybe he is at the zoo. I didn't think he was, though.
Yeah, it's the zoo.
Yeah. All right. Where would you recommend the more adventurous among your clients go to learn more about the jaguar? That's the basin, isn't it?
Yes,
Yep.
it is. Keep losing my test every time I go back and forth.
I know, I do it too. All right. Jill and her husband, Bob, are fascinated by ancient cultures and the archaeological sites that bring them to life. Since they're bringing their kids, they don't want anything too rigorous. Can you suggest a pleasant, stress-free way for them to view Maya sites? That would be the Archaeological Reserve or the Maya Center Village.
The archaeological reserve.
Yeah, that word, right? All right, so honeymooners. Fly into Belize City, transfer to Ambergris Cay, on board a 15-minute flight, hit the beach as soon as you get there. Take a boat out to Holchan Marine Preserve for some amazing snorkeling and or diving. Don't forget the sunscreen. If you have an underwater camera, this is the place to bring it. The tour includes a visit to Shark Ray Alley and more underwater adventure. So sharks, stingrays. There's also nurse sharks that you can actually pet. Take the afternoon off to walk around San Pedro and make some new friends over a cool drink, great meal. A fresh seafood after poking around the shops for mahogany carvings and other local handicrafts. Maya history awaits you at Altun Ha. This includes a short boat ride to the mainland down the Northern River, where you're sure to spot plenty of wildlife and exotic birds. Make sure to have your binoculars handy. A bus will take you to the Alton Ha sites, where the tour guide will fill you in on the history of the place where the famous jade head of sun god Canute Ahua, I guess is how you pronounce it, I don't know, was found. It has 2 large central plazas surrounded by mid-sized pyramids. Return to the hotel for another relaxing afternoon watching the waves lap the sand. And baby boomers. Fly into Belize, spend half day cruising the city on the historical sites tour by horse and buggy. Take a morning trip to the community baboon sanctuary. Tour includes a visit to the museum for information on the sanctuary program and more. The baboons are actually howler monkeys. A guide will take you along the trails of the nearby forest where you'll be able to get up close and personal with the animals. Their guttural howls are unlike anything you've ever heard, and you'll be able to feed them as well. In the afternoon, head out on a domestic flight to Palencia and chill out with some fresh seafood served with a side of Caribbean sea view. Wake up early for fishing. Palencia is home to some of the finest fishing captains in the country. Fishing is in its blood and its location is priceless, so grand slam. Permit bonefish tarpon is definitely a possibility. Don't want to fish, that's okay. You've got the white sand beaches, refreshing tropical breezes, calming Caribbean waters. And then head over to the Seine Beat, a stronghold of Garifuna culture, to experience their music, dancing, and food. Short boat ride takes you out to Laughing Bird Key, 11 miles from Palencia. Good diving, snorkeling, sea kayaking, picnic. Be on the lookout for blackbirds, green herons, brown pelicans. It's also part of the Belize Barrier Reef System, so expect lots of underwater life. Moray eels, turtles, groupers, lobster, snapper, etc. And day 5, explore the Maya site of Lubentune and Nimli Punit near the village of Indian Creek. The latter is known for the large number of stelae discovered there. It has a visitor center, trove of artifacts, pictures depicting the customs, dress, food. The view from the center is beautiful. The Caribbean Sea is visible on a clear day from the highest point in the site. All right, we've hit them all. All right, thank you so much for the magnificent tour. We're here to help. Final exam. Official language of Belize is English. What type of accommodations? Luxury, family-friendly, vacation, campground? Yes, all of the above. Of the activities included in the high-octane itinerary, which 3 would be especially good for someone who likes zip lining? This one, those 3 is what I'm thinking.
I will agree. I was thinking for sure the cave and the national forest, and I was stuck on the other one, if it was the temple or not.
Or is it the bird sanctuary? I don't think so because, well, maybe.
I don't remember him saying anything in that part, though.
I don't either. You want to stick with the temple? Or do you want to go to the sanctuary?
I'm gonna Google it real quick,
Okay.
at least the sanctuary part, and see. I'm thinking it is the temple, though.
Okay. We'll go with the temple. All right. Sam and Lucy, 6 and 8, can't wait to try their hands at drumming. What stop on their family fun itinerary will give them a chance to take lessons? That's Hopkins Village, right? Or Gladden Spit?
I'm gonna go with Hopkins Village on that one, too.
Okay. Laura has always wanted to go river tubing, and since it's their honeymoon, her husband wants to make sure the scenery will be awesome. Where can we send them? It's not Altoon Ha. I want to say Caves Branch. Let's see.
Caves Branch is rainforest.
So it's Ambergris Cave then?
Jungle Lodge. So that's what I've got. Yeah.
Ambergris Cave?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, where did it go? I lost it. There we go. Jim likes to fish, but his wife would rather hang out on the beach. That's Palencia. Oh no. All right, what did we miss? Okay, so high octane thrill seeker. Let's see. ATM. Superior Mountain Nature Reserve. Caracol Mayan Temple, Pine Ridge. All right, and then there's Mayflower, which we knew. Oh, I wonder if we misread that question about the 3 and it just wanted this Mayflower Bocawina National Forest and not 3 different places.
That could be possible. That would make sense.
All right. Oh, and it was the bird sanctuary and not the temple. Okay, so that helps. And then the other one that was the honeymooners, right?
Yes.
Take the afternoon, okay. All right, Alton no. Okay, Ambergris K. Doesn't say anything about the stalactites and stalagmites. All right, and Caves Branch River is where the stalactites and stalagmites are. All right, so definitely English. All of the above. So do they want us to choose 3 or just 1? I'm confused by this question. I'm putting those 3 since that's how we originally thought it was reading. All right, and this was Hopkins Village. And then Caves Branch. We ready to submit?
There's one more question.
I'm not getting one more question. Oh, I got to, never mind. And then Placencia. All right. Well, we passed it. Which one did we still miss?
This- The temple. Sanctuary, the forest, and the temple.
Temple. Yep.
Unknown caller.
All right. I am going to hop off. I've got Archer calling me. So it was great. Thank you very much. And I will see you hopefully at the next one.
Have a good one.
All right, you too.